Okay, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Faisol Arifudin. I'm from Department of English Language Education, Hasyim Asy'ari University, Tepireng, Jombang. Here, I want to review the Treasure Island novel. The Treasure Island is a classic adventure novel by Robert Louis Stevenson. Series in magazine Young Folk from October 1881 to January 1882 under the title The Sea Cook or Treasure Island. Published in book form 1883, although not the first book about pirates, Treasure Island is considered by many to be the best. Then let me give a little story about the novel. Okay, at the start of Treasure Island, Jim Hawkins is living with his mother and father at their inn. The Admiral Benbow life is pretty ordinary. Jim's father is sick, which sucks. But other than that, there isn't much going on from him until that is a sunburned sailor singing ho ho ho, and a bottle of rum comes through the front door of the family establishment. The sailor calls himself a captain and demands a room. He proceeds to settle down at the Admiral Benbow Inn, drink a ton of whiskey, and tell terrifying stories about life on a high sea. One day, after an old shipmate named Black Dog managed to track down the captain, he gets so worked up that he has a stroke. The captain starts hallucinating and raving about his old life as a pirate. Apparently, the captain isn't a captain at all. His name is Billy Bones, and he was second in command to someone named Captain Flint. Jim doesn't have much time to care about the captain's crazy talk, so his father dies that same night. The day after Jim's father's funeral, a blind man appears at the inn looking for the captain. This man is Pew, and he orders that the captain meets his old shipmates at 10 o'clock at that night. The blind man leaves, and captain jumps out, and then he falls over dead from a heart attack. After some shenanigans with Pew and bunch of pirates who try to steal Billy Bones' sea chest, Jim comes away with a packet of paper from Billy Bones. He decides to bring the paper to Dr. Livesey, the local judge. Jim finds Dr. Livesey at the Squire's house. A squire is a local lord. The squire is Mr. Trelawney. Dr. Livesey and Squire Trelawney both agree that Captain Flint is a famous pirate and that Jim's packet of paper must contain a treasure map to Flint's fortune. Squire Trelawney offered to put up the money for a sailing voyage to the island shown on the map. Since who doesn't want to go hunting for treasure, so it's decided. Squire Trelawney is going to go to a coastal town in England right away to hear a ship and a crew. And the Dr. Livesey will come down to accompany him on their request. Jim gets to go as cabin boy. When Squire Trelawney is looking for a crew for their voyage, he finds a delightful man, an old cook with one leg named Long John Silver, who willingly volunteers to help him choose his crew. Squire Trelawney is really impressed by Long John Silver's manner and intelligence, so he basically hands over the hiring duties to him. Squire Trelawney also finds a nice ship, the Hispaniola, and a captain, Captain Smollett. Squire Trelawney asked one of his servants, Mr. Blandly, to stay behind and send other ships after them in August if Mr. Blandly sees no sign of them before then. And they're off. Jim is having the time of his life, even though he has to work hard. But things take bad turn one night then when Jim climbed down into an apple barrel on deck to get the last piece of fruit and finds himself falling asleep in the dark place. He wakes up to overhear Long John Silver taking to a young sailor, Dick Johnson, trying to persuade Dick to join Long John Silver and his men. Long John Silver knows exactly where the Hispaniola is heading, because he used to be part of Captain Flynn's crew as well. Jim realized that the crew is just biding its time until they reach the island, when the sailor planned to rise up against Captain Smollett, kill all the non-pirates, and steal Captain Flynn's treasure. As soon as the coast is clear, James climbs out of the barrel and runs and tells Captain Smollett, Dr. Livesey, and Squire Trelawney that he was overheard. When Hispaniola arrived at the island, check out this map to get a sense of what it looks like. The mood of the crew is clearly growing ugly, but they don't actively mutiny. Remember, the crew doesn't have a map, and they also don't have Captain Smollett's sailing skills. Captain Smollett offers them all around of drinks and sends two-thirds of the crew into the island to stretch their legs. When the crew is ashore, he and Dr. Livesey ambush the remaining 6 sailors, including Israel Haynes, one of the leader of the sailor, and lock them below decks. Then they go ashore to find a better place to set up headquarters, a place with fresh water, which the ship doesn't have, that can still be defended. They find a abandoned fort and set up there after a brave fight with a group of surprised crewmen. Jim meanwhile has slipped ashore with the pirates and gone off exploring on his own. He is totally astonished to find a man on the island, Ben Gunn, who sailed with Captain Flynn. Ben was marooned on the island 3 years earlier, so he is literally nutty, but he agrees to help Squire Trelawney and Dr. Livesey in exchange for 1,000 British pounds freedom, some cheese. As Jim and Ben talk, they hear the sound of the fly. Jim hurries through the forest to find that his friends have taken control of an old fort on the island, so he sleeps. into the fort to tell them what he has discovered about Ben Gunn. After a battle with the pirate John sees Doctor Livesey head into the forest to consult with Ben Gunn. Jim heads his own plan. He's going to find the tiny boat Ben Gunn mentioned to see if it might be helpful to him. Jim knows that he wouldn't be allowed to do this if he asked, but he slips away from the effort anyway and goes off to explore. Jim finds a little boat and suddenly gets another great idea. He's going to set the Hispaniola adrift from its anchor so that the pirates can control the ship. Jim rows out the ship, cause the line attacking it is to anchor. Once it get caught in the current, there are only two men aboard the ship, Israel Hans and a man named O'Brien. The two are in the middle of a furious fight when the Hispaniola starts to move, so they don't react quickly enough to stop Jim. Jim eventually manages to get on board the Hispaniola again. He sees that Israel Hans has murdered O'Brien, but he has also been badly badly injured. Israel Hans isn't strong even to steer the ship by himself, so he had Jim strike and deal to bring the ship around to the secluded north inlet of the island to beach it safely. Once they arrive at the north inlet, Israel Hans tried to murder Jim, but Jim gets in a lucky shot, and Israel Hans fall dead into the sea below. James climbs down from the ship, wades to shore, and climbs back up to the fort. It is now the middle of the night and too dark to see what is going on. So Jim is completely surprised to find the pirates, and not his friends, waiting the fort. Long John Silver prevents the other pirates from killing Jim. Long John Silver is playing complicated game. First of all, Long John Silver is confused. He can't figure out why Dr. Livesey and everyone just abandoned the fort. Nor can he work out why Dr. Livesey gave Long John Silver the treasure map. But Long John Silver is dealing with dissatisfaction from his own pirate crew, who are angry that they haven't found the treasure and now the ship is gone. Long John Silver is sure the pirates are going to rise up against him if he shows his confusion or any sign of weakness. So he keeps Jim close to him. He wants Jim to stand as a witness that he saved his life if he ever comes to trial. Dr. Livesey comes by the fort as part of their truce and treats the injured and sick pirates. Jim managed to get word to him, and Long John Silver seems to be flipping sides, and that Jim has the edge, the Hispaniola on the north end of the island. Dr. Livesey warns Long John Silver that there will be trouble if he goes to look for the treasure, and then Dr. Livesey heads off into the forest. Long John Silver used the treasure map to lead Jim and remaining pirates, Dick Johnson, Tom Morgan, George Merry, and two more guys, to the place marked on the map. They find that the treasure has already been dug up. That's why Dr. Livesey was willing to give them the map. It isn't worth anything anymore. With this disappointed, the pirates turn on Long John Silver. They are about to charge when suddenly three short ring from the forest. It's Dr. Livesey, Abraham Gay, and Ben Gunn, knowing that the pirates were going to look for the treasure with Jim in tow. The three men decided to follow them through the forest to research Jim and Long John Silver, since he helped save Jim's life. Three pirates survived the ambush: Dick Johnson, Tom Morgan, and Sir, and ran off into the forest. And and that's pretty much it. All that is left is warping up. It was Ben Gunn who dug up the treasure and moved it to his cave. 2 months before the Hispaniola even arrived at the island, they all carried the treasure back to the beach. Hispaniola leave some supplies for the pirates they are planning and abandon on the island. Check out what's up with the ending for more this morally choice and sail away. The only men left on the Hispaniola are Dr. Livesey, Squire Trelawney, Jim Hawkins, Abraham Gray, Ben Gunn, and Long John Silver. Long John Silver slips away from the ship as soon as they dock at the nearby port to restock their crew and supplies. Ben Gunn gets his £1,000 as the rewards for his help and then spends it all and winds up a bigger game. Abraham Gray, the royal sailor, saves his money and starts good life, and everyone else gets plenty of treasure. That's all the story of the novel Treasure Island, and then I think that's all from me. I say wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe.